1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh hell, let's just build a 7th aquarium rack. Why not, right? I tell you what doesn't make much sense is yesterday it was 74 degrees and now it is cold. I have a bottle of water in my truck from yesterday, the day before, and I got one out of the fridge just now, and the bottle in my truck is colder than the one in the fridge. So that's a little concerning considering yesterday was like 74 degrees, but welcome to Virginia. So realistically, you guys are probably wondering, why do you need 7 aquarium racks? Well, if you guys don't follow the channel, Wayne's Fish World is also a company. I have personally 1, 2, 3 tanks that are complete, that are mine, and I'm working on a seahorse tank nano build right now, and later on one of the tanks that is mine is going to be converted, which I never really show you guys. It's going to be converted into something else in the near future, and then I'm going to be adding one more to my personal collection. That's gonna be fun. But in all reality, in all seriousness, this 7th aquarium stand is going to consolidate a couple of my aquariums. I'm really consolidating some of the tanks that I have laying around, and it's all about footprint. I believe footprint saving is a major, because let's say you have a, I don't know, a 24,000 square foot room or a warehouse or something. You know, if you plan your aquariums out and your racks and stands out to the point where it's not efficient in saving space, you really didn't accomplish much, and you've wasted a lot of storefront that could have gone to good use. All right, I'm at Lowe's and I'm gonna go in there and get a couple of things I need: 2x4s, self-tapping screws, plywood, maybe some paint, whole 9 yards. So I probably picked one of the worst days to actually build this stand. If you watch the video to the end, you'll see the wind blows over the stand, the tripod, the piece of plywood was hard getting in the truck, but it also snowed and it was just cold. Very, very cold today. But this build took 12 2x4x8s. It took one piece of 1/4 inch 4x8 plywood. I got a gallon of black exterior barn paint. Now I don't need that much, but I'm going to be using it on future projects, so I bought it in bulk to save some money. I also used 3-inch self-tapping exterior screws. I actually ran out of them, and luckily I had some heavy-duty gauge nails laying around, so I went ahead and used those. When you're building your stands, if you're new to it, you definitely want to get familiar, get on some forums, go on Google, get some ideas, get some guidelines. I've done this a million times, so it kind of comes natural. Once you have a general idea, you pretty much know how to throw it together. So the first thing I'm going to be doing is cutting out the legs. The legs are 78 inches tall. That's going to be flush with all the other racks in the system. 78 inches is just my personal preference due to my height. I'm 5'10", so I'm an average build. You know, I'm not too tall, I'm not too short, so that height works really good for me, and it's really easy to clean and maintain. You got to make it easy upon yourself. The easier you do it, the more likely you are going to maintain your material. So the next thing I'm cutting out are the side supports for the shelves. The stand overall is 38 inches. So I'm cutting these boards at 38 inches. I want to make the rack 13 inches. The 29-gallon highs and the 20-gallon longs are only 12 inches, but I want a little bit of overlap. So those little pieces I just cut from the scrap, they're 10 inches. So as you see, I have 2 long 38 pieces and 2 shorter 10 inches. 2x4 is 1.5 inches wide, so times that by 2, that's 3. Plus 10 inches for the middle, that's 13 inches. So that's going to fit perfectly for the 29s and a 20-gallon long. I wanted to make sure I had a little bit of an extra playroom just in case, or just in case a miscut or some kind of random mishap. I've learned through trials and events, it's better to play it safe than to hope for the best. So I've got to build 4 of these shelves. The one I just laid down is going to be for the bottom base. That's going to carry the first 29-gallon. Then that one is going to be for the second 29-gallon. There's going to be a bracer in between to support the weight. Then I've got another elevation that the 20-gallon long is going to sit on. And then I've got the final one at the top to actually frame up the top and hold everything together. This is the worst part in building stands. It wasn't really hard, but this concept's not hard. It's just the wind was unforgiving today. That happened several times, and I got mad. I turned the camera off, and I threw the other ones up. I basically took a square and leveled it off and got a level and made sure everything was plumb. Now, as you guys can see, it's going to get a little crooked, but that gets adjusted in later on in the video. So I laid those down. I stood on them so I didn't have to get a ladder. Everything's 78 inches. So what I did was I took my finger and I made sure it was flush, and I just tacked it up there with the screw for now. I went back and I added more screws later on. But I just wanted to make sure it was leveled, and I'm dancing a little bit. And yeah, I got some personal issues I got to work out. I'm not right in the head. As you guys can see, it's very, very crooked. And I got a little scared for a second, even after making sure it was plumb. But we'll address that later on. As you guys can see now, I'm adding what really holds the weight. I guess you can call them shims or bracers. These are really going to take the majority of the weight.
Listen here, people. It's snowing. Yesterday, 74 degrees, and now I'm building a fish stand, runny nose, freezing my butt off in the snow. I just wanted to tell you guys that. Have a nice day.
As you guys can see, the stand looks 10 times better. I went ahead and made sure everything was flush. I got the shims underneath each of the shelves. And what I also did is I went ahead and I added, and I don't know what's up, but I've noticed that every time I get a little happy, I do a little dance. Twerk, twerk, okay, I'm done. But what I did also was I added a couple of 10-inch bracers in the middle. I think I added 1, 2, I believe there's 5 10-inch bracers on each elevation shelf.
Well, I never thought I'd see the day I'd be building an aquarium stand or rack, whatever you want to call it, in the snow. But here we go. Basically what we have is 3 different sections. Now, as I've talked about before, the weight is not on the, I guess you call it a leg. The weight is on these little shelves. I actually placed the shelves, these supports below the shelf first, and then I lowered the shelf. Now, you know, I don't care how many DIYers you talk to, they're going to claim that all the weight on your rack is going to be on these supports right here, not the leg. No, you're still going to have weight on here and on here. So as you guys can see, I got a nail going here, nail going there, screw going there, nail going there, nail going here, nail going there. So there's about 8 or 16 nails alone supporting this. And then there's one here, there, so on and so forth. But we're gonna have a 29 gallon here, 29 gallon here, 20 gallon long. The next thing I gotta do is put the back on it. And I'm gonna have to cut out the parts for the filter so I can clean them and interchange them and whatnot. But I gotta still paint it. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to paint it outside because, well, it's kind of cold and it's snowing. So that's not gonna go good for the paint. Might do that indoors. You guys can see that I've got the stand built. And I've also got a tank on there. I'm not letting you see what's in this tank. The next part of this video, I'm going to be basically taking 3 tanks, cleaning them up, painting them, adding the filtration, and adding the electrical to the stand. That's really going to be a fun part, and I hope you guys stick around to it. Hope you like this video. I'll see you guys next Sunday with a brand new video. Later. I'm not gonna bring the camera in there and show you guys the 2x4s. I can't bring myself to do that. I see a lot of people out there on YouTube, you know, going in on their adventures and bringing a camera everywhere they go. I don't care what people think, but I ain't gonna be the guy with the camera walking around Lowe's going, hey, look at this guy, I got a 2x4. Anyways, let's I might not put that in the video.